Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Commander Gabriel Duran, currently stationed at Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake, attached to Air Test and Evaluation Squadron 9. I'm enrolled as a candidate for the Program Management Master's Program at NPS. My research is entitled Use of Fleet Electronic Attack Squadrons for Operational Test and Evaluation of Next Generation Jammer Mid-Band Program. Now, I selected this topic to analyze the effects of the Navy's decision in their fiscal year 2022 budget submission to disestablish dedicated operational test squadrons as the Next Generation Jammer Program has surpassed the milestone C decision and looks to start initial operational test and evaluation within a year. Now, I wanted to see whether this course of action to have fleet aviation squadrons assume the role of operational testers helps drive down the time it takes for the warfighter to receive the pod, and if this helps manage the costs and risks to product performance. Finally, as an electronic warfare officer at VX9, I wanted to see if our mission at VX9 to recommend the fielding of operationally suitable and effective weapon systems under realistic combat conditions was in danger of becoming inadequately assumed by fleet aviation units. The methodology I used included a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis to examine the advantages or disadvantages to the schedule, cost, and performance of the NGJ program, with consideration of fleet operational tempo and the Navy's optimized fleet response plan. Now, the SWOT analysis assessed the operational constraints of a fleet squadron to prepare to deploy while executing the resourcing, electronic attack squadron readiness standards, maintenance and aircrew personnel training, aircrew tactical expertise, and security administration with conducting operational tests of an acquisition category level 1 program. Then, I conducted a cost-effective analysis to compare the relative costs and outcomes of a 2-week operational test detachment of the NGJ pod to perform suppression of enemy air defenses at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, with a fleet squadron from Whidbey Island, Washington, versus an air test squadron from China Lake, California. Now, the primary finding of my research was that the weaknesses internal to the idea and the external threats far outweigh the potential benefits in schedule. The risk of schedule slips is higher because of the optimized fleet response plan demands for fleet squadron manning, training, and equipment. Fleet squadrons are minimally resourced at the maintenance phase, having limited capacity to surge their momentum and focus on meeting the acquisition system's timely demands. Additionally, scheduled drivers with test range availability, assets, and the requirement of test efficiency reporting put the completion of initial operational tests and evaluation at risk. The cost-effective analysis showed a 7% increase in costs with a fleet squadron assuming operational tests. Additionally, the prospect of multiple fleet squadrons performing several detachments over the course of a test period increases risk. Now, there's risk to product performance if VX9 is disestablished because they provided continuity in the testing process to plan, execute, and report test results on weapon systems effectiveness and suitability. VX9 consists of seasoned naval aviators with the tactical and operational experience to evaluate a weapon system ready for fleet release. An operational test director at VX9 must navigate the political demands of accountability, funding, and scrutiny of their projects. The technical knowledge of tests and assessing the validated requirements of a system from end to end necessitates specialized training. The fleet aviator cannot meet these demands if their primary focus should be preparing to deploy their squadron for combat. The consequences to cost, schedule, and performance to the NGJ program give high confidence that fleet squadrons should not be tasked to perform operational tests. And my recommendation for the Navy is to properly resource, fund, and support VX9 to assess the operational effectiveness and suitability of the NGJ pod. And as a final note, I'd like to thank the Acquisition Research Program for their guidance to complete my research, and my advisor, Professor Mortlock, for his support. Thank you.
Commander of OPTEV 4, Rear Admiral Tedford, is already looking at this thesis and making a more informed decision for policy based on this research. So it's just an example, and you all have these examples as well, of the importance of doing research so that you can make, so the senior leaders can make more informed policy decisions.